Hey, what is going on, guys? In this video today, we're going to be taking a look at a bunch of top/pro Fortnite players and determining whether or not they use the somewhat controversial setting Confirm Edit on release. This is kind of a follow-up to the video I just released a few days ago titled Editing in Fortnite is Broken. One of the points that I brought up in that video is basically the fact that a decent amount of players believe that Confirm Edit on release is glitched and just in general is a bad setting to use. But clearly not everybody believes that, because if you take a look at this poll that Raider464 tweeted out about a week ago, he asked, do you use Confirm Edit on release? And in total, roughly 7,500 people replied, so definitely a really strong sample size. And of those responses, 55% of players answered yes, and 45% of players answered no. FaZe Vorwin tweeted a very similar poll a few days later, and his got around 6,000 votes, and in total was 51% yes, 49% no. So to see it be so close to 50-50 in both of those polls with a ton of responses, it really showcases how evenly the community is split about this specific setting. And I hope that taking a look at what a bunch of the top players are using will provide more clarity about whether or not you should be using it. And I tried to really put an emphasis on looking at a few of the top creative mode players, since they're usually some of the fastest and best editors. I did a very similar video a few weeks ago about linear versus legacy from the viewpoint of top controller players, and you guys seem to really find that helpful. But with this video, keep in mind that mouse and keyboard players will be featured as well, since Confirmed Release basically works the same way on both input devices. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so before we jump into this, I just want to give the same disclaimer that I did for the linear versus legacy video. I tried my best to get the most updated setting information possible for all the players in this video, but some of them are going to be maybe 2 or 3 weeks old, so there's a slight chance that those players could have possibly switched in that time frame. Alright, so starting with Assault from Ghost Gaming. Around a month ago, he initially tweeted, "Release Edit is the wave," so clearly he was a fan of it and using it at that point in time. But then, a few weeks later, he tweeted, "Double edit binds are so much better than release to edit," so it appears that he changed his mind about that and he doesn't currently use it. Bugha, as of right now, is not using Confirm Edit on release. Clicks, according to the specific command in his Twitch chat, also doesn't use Confirm Edit on release. Destroy's the first player on our list so far that does use Confirm Edit on release, but he definitely won't be the last. Evade Tweaks, who's one of those top creative players, actually just uploaded a video about 5 days ago titled, "I mastered edit on release," and then in parentheses, "insane editing speed." So clearly he is using Confirm Edit on release, and based on what I saw in that video, he's absolutely insane with it. But he actually also replied to someone a few days before releasing that video saying, "Edit on release sucks for people with higher ping or inconsistent internet compared to double edit binds." So that's also something I never really even thought about that may be worth considering here. Parallel Psycho, another one of the best creative players, recently tweeted, "Oh, and for those of you who don't know, I don't use edit on release, but you didn't ask, I told you." So a bit of an odd way to let the world know, but all that matters for this video is that he doesn't use Confirm Edit on release. FaZe Sway, I don't think has ever made any kind of official statement about Confirm Edit on release, but based on his settings video he recently uploaded, he has it off. FaZe Thieves actually had an interesting tweet about Confirm Edit on release. He said, "I still don't know if I want to use edit on release. I feel like I'm way faster overall with it, but I can't tell if it's sufficiently helping me. What do you guys use?" So based on that tweet, it sounds like he's currently using it, so that's what I'm gonna count him as, but he also doesn't seem 1,000% sold on it yet. Fnatic Motor is a guy that was featured in my last video, and his opinion about Confirm Edit on release may be the most interesting in this entire video. He replied to the Vorwin Twitter poll that I showed earlier by saying, "I've been using it since it came out and I can tell you that it's just not worth it. Edit on release has such game-breaking bugs when you try to be fast or try to double edit. I can't go back as I'm praying for Epic to fix them." So if you didn't quite understand that, he's currently using Edit on Release himself because he's so used to it, but he also doesn't recommend people switch to it as of right now because of certain glitches. Ghost Camo's another player that I don't think has ever specifically gone in depth about it, but he currently has Confirm Edit on Release set to off. Raider464 doesn't use Confirm Edit on Release, and he basically gave his opinions as to why in a tweet. Someone asked him, "Would you recommend using double edit binds or edit on release? I'm not sure if it's worth it to switch. I need help, please." To which he replied back, "Edit on release is way easier to learn. Double edit binds are more rewarding once mastered." So pretty interesting and definitely a reasonable response there from Raider. Mongrel's another really interesting one because for the majority of Chapter 2, he had been using Confirm Edit on Release, and he really seemed to like it. But then, a few days ago, apparently he mentioned on stream that he was going to be turning it off for a little while, and kind of see if he liked that better or worse than what he was doing before. So I'm not really sure what to count him as since I don't think he's made any kind of final decision yet, so I guess I'll just count him as yes since that's what he's been using recently. Shaw tweeted a few weeks ago, "Only use Confirm Edit on Release on controller if you use a single edit bind. Double edit binds is 10 times faster." And I don't believe he's changed his mind since then, so he should still have it off. CypherPK actually uploaded a YouTube video about 2 weeks ago, literally titled "Why I Don't Use Confirm Edit on Release," so I feel like that one is pretty self-explanatory. And finally, as I did in the last video like this, I'm also gonna give my opinion. I do use Confirm Edit on Release, and I actually really like it. I could never tell if it was faster or slower than double edit binds, which is obviously a big topic of debate here, but even if it is a tad bit slower, at least for me, it makes up for that by being a little smoother to use than double edit binds, since you're pressing one less button each time you make an edit. So now, let's break down the numbers of what we saw here. In total, I looked at 15 players that I think include a solid mix of controller, mouse and keyboard, pro players, creative players, etc, etc. Out of those 15 players, 6 of them do use Confirm Edit on Release: Destroy, Tweaks, Thieves, Motor, Mongrel, and me. And 9 of them do not use Confirm Edit on Release: Assault, Booga, Clicks, Psycho, Sway, Camo, Raider, Shaw, and Cypher. So, at least to me, I found these results actually somewhat unexpected. And the reason I think that is because in those 2 polls that I showed at the beginning of this video that surveyed about 12,000 people total, more people had Confirm Edit on Release turned on instead of off. But out of the top level players, it seems like off is the much more popular option. And yes, I know that 15 isn't a huge sample size by any means, but you also have to remember that the total amount of quote-unquote top players is very small, so a 15-person sample size is not as bad as it may seem. There are also a bunch of people that I wanted to include in this video that I simply couldn't, because despite how hard I looked, I couldn't find a tweet, Twitch clip, or video stating whether they did or didn't use Confirm Edit on Release. So I apologize if maybe somebody you wanted to know about wasn't featured in this video, but I can assure you guys that I did the best that I could. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you watched the entire thing, be sure to let me know with a comment down the comment section below. This entire video was about looking at if certain players use Confirm Edit on Release or not, so now I want to know what you guys are currently doing. Do you use Confirm Edit on Release, or do you have it off, and what are your personal thoughts on the choice that you've made? Be sure to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, do whatever the heck you want, and I will catch you guys next time.